drop down.
Look around the coming down that railroad track. Hey, look around the coming down that railroad track. It's the Orange Blossom Special, bringing my baby back. Woo. 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 Well, I'm going down to Florida and get some sand in my shoes, or maybe California and get some sand in my shoes. I'll write that Orange Blossom Special and lose these New York blues.
Well, we got a good night's sleep here after a very lively trip down Broadway here in Nashville. So we're going to head over to the Hall of Fame. First we're going to get some breakfast here. Found a good eating place. Carrie loves her grits.
He said, I'll love you till I die. She told him you were.
Mom got some pancakes. So we're ready to move on into the Hall of Fame as we enter the Hall of Fame. This is the where they had the plaques of the artists who are in the Hall of Fame, and we're just checking things out, looking at each plaque. Little Jimmy Dickens we see here. Like Buck Owens and Waylon Jennings look, yeah, there's Waylon. Elected 2002. I think that was the year he passed away. John Anderson, Kitty Wells, Sam Phillips is on the wall. And up here at the top, which is very disappointing, is Conway Twitty stuck way up here on top, which he was snubbed by the Hall of Fame. He didn't get in until 1999, which was 6 years after his passing, because I think it was because he was not a member of the Grand Ole Opry, because he wouldn't commit to the number of appearances he had to do. So he was kind of an outsider here in Nashville, but eventually, you know, you have to put Conway in. It is the Hall of Fame, and he was kind of like the Babe Ruth. Oh, Merle looks like George Washington here. I thought that's Sonny James there. Bud Wendell. And Whispering Bill Anderson here. Love some of his music, some of his songs. A great songwriter.
I'll be wondering what I'm gonna do. The only thing that I can say that makes me act and feel this way is I never gonna wish. I still see your dark eyes almost everywhere I turn. I keep standing on the bridges I thought I had burned. I can still feel you near me.
As we look here on the wall, Ralph Emery, the famous country music broadcaster, and old Charlie Daniels, when Devil went down to Georgia. Looked like the Everly Brothers there. Here's Webb Pierce car. I think it's a Cadillac. It's got some handguns on the front of it, and some. Well, now this car's been around Nashville a while. This is Elvis's Cadillac. It's got a TV and all the bells and whistles on the inside. It's been around Nashville. Well, Carolyn has found a gold record of Conway on the wall. Looks like Make Believe. We see several Conway records. Of course, you have a lot of Elvis Presley's. Only Make Believe, 1958, #1 hit for Conway.
Is that someday you'll care? My hopes and my dreams come true.
Right above Carolyn is another gold record. This is Hello Darling, Conway's country music hit that really established him as a country music artist. One of his signature songs, for sure. So you have several Conway here on the old Hall of Fame. They just couldn't keep him out. I mean, it just wouldn't be the Hall of Fame without Conway.
My life I'd give for you, my heart a wedding ring, my all, my everything, my heart I can't control. You rule my very soul, my only prayer.
Down here's another Conway. These plaques are kind of hard to read. Now here's Lester Flatt, part of the Lester Flatt and Scruggs. Now, interesting story about this is he came to Rayford, North Carolina in the 60s, and my dad took us to see him. And after the show, believe it or not, we were allowed to go into a restroom to get his autograph. And I'll never forget, he was in a stall. We opened the door to the stall, and there he was sitting on the toilet. And we got his autograph. That's the way it was back then, I guess. Couldn't do that now, I don't think. But that's pretty interesting. This is Owen Bradley's studio, well, I should say office. A lot of the sound equipment, certainly outdated in this day and time. See a lot of cassettes on his desk where people would send in cassettes for him to listen to. And he might pull out a cassette and play for Conway, and Conway may say, yeah, man, I like that song. Well, let's record this song. I know that happened several times. Over here is Guy Clark. I think he was a craftsman that made guitars, world famous guitars. Don't know a lot about him, but that's apparently what he did, is make guitars here. Pretty crowded here in the Hall of Fame today, Saturday. Man, Friday and Saturday nights here in Nashville, it's pretty crazy. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like Broadway. I mean, it's just really lively. It's kind of a young man's game for sure. It's just not what I remember from the 80s. And another Waylon Jennings record here. See if we can see what it is. Can't quite. Okay, What Goes Around Comes Around. One of Waylon's. Conway and Loretta, of course, they had a lot of duets together. They were the #1 duet team for years. May still be. Elvis here, a lot of Elvis. Oh, Johnny Paycheck up here. Take this job and shove it. Near Johnny Paycheck. Greatest hits. Oh, Johnny Paycheck on the wall. There's old Waylon down here, probably greatest hits, yeah. Willie Nelson. These little plaques are hard to see. They're like Crystal Gale, maybe. Ronnie Millsap had many #1 hits. There's quite a few Waylons. I've Always Been Crazy. One of my favorite Waylon songs. I couldn't think of his name at first, but I believe that's Jerry Clower, comedian. Just couldn't hardly remember his name when I first saw him. Been a while since I've seen some of his material. So we'll keep on moving down here. A lot of these plaques are hard to make out, but you get the idea here. Another Conway right here. Yeah, very best of Conway. Then the Ronstadt. Old Statler brothers, they had a lot of fame back in their day. A lot of awards, the Statler brothers. Kind of a different era. Kenny Rogers, Urban Cowboy, a big one. And that's Carolyn and Carey sitting there. All right. Now, this is Mac Davis' shirt. For those of you that don't know Mac Davis, a big songwriter, wrote some of Elvis's material. Baby, Don't Get Hooked on Me. Mac Davis, that's his shirt. All right. Looking over here.
I don't know how to tell her I didn't get that raise and pay today.
Checking things out.
And I know how much she
To the
wanted.
right, there's old Waylon up there in
The
the
dress
Country
and
Music Hall of
Bacon's
Fame.
And it
You know,
breaks
one
my
thing
heart
about the gift shop here,
to see her have
and this was
to
Dolly Parton's time to be
And
featured in the
cancel
Hall
all
of
the
Fame. They rotate this stuff
she made to
out,
celebrate.
in and out. But down in the gift
I
shop,
can count on
who you think they
her
had
to take
material gifts
with a smile,
with artists? Johnny Cash,
not
yeah.
a frown.
Dolly Parton, yeah. And old Waylon, yeah. Anybody else? I didn't see
She
anybody
knows
else.
it
I mean, that's just how.
has its little ups and downs, like ponies on a merry-go-round. And no one
Sure who that
treasuring every time,
is. Some guitars here. And some
but she
brand new-
don't mind. She wears a gold ring on her finger.
Make our way down here. We see some outfits.
And it's mine.
Look like Porter Wagner. Loretta Lynn right there in the middle with that light polka dot dress. Very small dress. Loretta Lynn there. Tammy Wynette's guitar. George Jones' guitar and his boots. Old George Jones.
Upon the hill,
Oh, Silver Fox, Charlie Rich.
over by the
Recognize
gate.
that. One of his outfits.
Lord knows I hate to say again.
Old Charlie Fox, Charlie Rich. Freddie Fender,
But you can bet that she'll just
Don
take
Gibson's guitar.
it with a smile.
Now, if you recognize that from Smokey and the Bandit, that's the Bandit's car. It's been around Nashville for a while.
She knows it like
Over here you have an outfit from the Judge, Naomi and Wyona. I've recognized that outfit a few times. Who is that? Yeah, that looks like George Strait right there. Over here, this is Marty Stewart, and that definitely looks like some of his sparkling stuff. Oh, Marty Stewart outfit. Seen him in person. Steve Earle. Patty Loveless outfit. Travis Tritt. What you got here with Travis? Yeah, a little vest.
We got a hold of that and just run with it. All of a sudden we were outlaws and everybody pretty much laughed about it. And then the bus came down. That was a whole nother story right there. But a couple of days after the bus, we were up in the lawyer's office. They were talking talking about strategy and what they was going to have to do and what he'd have to say and everything. And Willie said, "Wait a minute, I got a song for y'all." And he played the outlaw bit, and they liked it. Well, they almost did. And it was crazy. I laughed till I couldn't stop laughing. It was so funny. You cannot imagine the look on their faces when he said they were looking for something gone, long gone.